Hi everyone and welcome to the latest soldering tutorial. Now I've had quite a few people asking recently if I could sort of show them what sort of tools I use in my videos. So basically that's what I decided to do. I'm going to make a quick tools guide, sort of showing you the common tools I would use in all my videos basically. I'm going to start this one with basically soldering irons and the two types I use. Now right in the middle of your screen I've got these two black handled ones. Now these are Metcal. The MX5210, you can basically plug these, one of them's really small, the top one of the two, and that's actually capable of doing sort of 1005s really easily. It's absolutely tiny iron, it's great for tiny work, but the one at the bottom is sort of more general. Sort of the Metcal has a few different size tips there that would go in that one. The sort of Metcal's 80 watt, it's an absolutely great item. It's quite expensive, so if you win the lottery, yeah, get yourself one of them. But the one I use sort of mainly is the Weller. That's a TCP-S. It's quite old school. The temperature is sort of adjusted by the tips. There's no sort of adjustment on the sort of base unit, but the tips have sort of different temperatures within them, and it can go up to 425 degrees. That one, and that's the iron I probably use in 90% of my videos. So yeah, I really love the Weller, and the Metcal is a great item as well. So yeah, so they're the two sort of makes and models that I would use. So basically after this this sort of short sort of iron guide, we're going to move on to sort of two types of cutters that I generally use. One of you may not have seen before, it's a great item. So I'm going to move on to them now, and yeah, I'll show you a couple of quick demos with the cutters, and then we'll move on to some other items later. So we'll do the cutters now. Right, so following on from the soldering irons, there's two different tools you can see on your screen now. Basically I've got sort of these general side cutters down here. There's two pairs at the bottom. These are more of a rounded end for sort of larger joints, but if you're doing quite a close-up joint, you want to get in quite tight. These are sort of more pointed to get in sort of into a sort of smaller area. You can even get smaller ones than these. Basically side cutters are available from the general places. You can pay literally £3 upwards for them, so you don't need to go expensive. But these cutters up the top now, you might not have seen these before. These are PCB distance cutters. And as you can see, there's a little sort of step sticking out there. It's the same up there and the same there. Basically, if you put sort of this edge here flat to the board, that's the height of your joint. They're used for through-hole joints. They're an amazing tool. You get a consistent joint all around. I'll do a couple of demos after this just to show you how they work. They're quite expensive, but I'll sort of show you another option in a minute where you can achieve the same result really cheaply. So yeah, I love them. These are probably one of my favourite tools. These, used them so much over the years. Quite expensive, like I say, but you're going to get good use out of them, and they will eventually save you a lot of time. So yeah, basically I'll do a couple of demos now, and yeah, we'll see sort of both of these tools in action. Quick demonstration how these distance cutters work. So as you can see, I've got my through-hole pins sticking quite a way through the board. I'll sort of tack this end in, the other end's tacked in. What I'm going to do is just trim about half a dozen pins. I'll quickly show you how these work and what a great result you'll get. All you do, literally, place the flat base onto the board, handle, and you're going to get a lovely sort of, as you can see, a nice trim joint. That's about 1.5 mm. Basically just keep going along the line, one after the other. Just get rid of the excess lead out of the sort of cutters. As you can see, getting a consistent joint, really easy every time, same height joint. That's what you're looking for. So it's a lot safer than doing side cutters. So it's really easy. As you can see, you've got 6 really nice leads, all trimmed to the same height, and that's how easy this cutters work. So if you can say they're quite expensive, but if you can afford a pair in the future and you do a lot of through hole, they're going to sort of save you invaluable time, and you get a great result every time. But there is another way of sort of doing your sort of through hole joints consistently, so I'll just move on to that one now. Right, so as you can see on the screen now, if you haven't got any distance cutters, all I've done here, I've laid a sort of cable tie, it's a plastic cable tie. I've laid the body of that along the joints. This is where your side cutters can be used. That's why basically it's invaluable. You get either side cutters or distance cutters. All you do, lay it on the tie wrap and just trim away. This way you're going to get a consistent joint, exactly the same. This is why it's great to add a pair of side cutters to your tools collection. So you can get them really cheaply from general places, and you're going to end up with a consistent joint right along the line. So yeah, it's another good tool to add to your collection. It's a vital tool really when you're soldering. A pair of side cutters, but if you can stretch to distance cutters, it'd be great if you get sort of one or either both. So yeah, I'm going to move on now to sort of show you some tweezers and how invaluable they are to sort of add to your tools collection. And right, so following on from the side cutters and the height cutters just showed, now moving on to tweezers. Now basically, when you're doing your soldering, if you can get 2 or 3 different sort of pairs of tweezers, I've actually got 4 on show here. It really aids you in your projects. So yeah, like down the bottom, sort of left hand corner for example, got a really fine pitch end on these ones. They're really great for getting in between 402s, etc. when you're doing rework or sort of positioning them. And so yeah, bottom right hand corner, I've got a sort of larger sort of spread pair that are sort of great for SO14s, 16s, etc. I've got a sort of even larger pair at the top left that are great for sort of BJs, sort of QFNs, QFPs. And yeah, at the top right, I've got a sort of a hook shaped pair that are sort of great for getting into awkward positions when you sort of need certain angles. So I'll do a couple of quick demonstrations after this chat just to show you the worth of getting 2 or 3 different pairs. Yeah, you can go sort of cheap with tweezers, you can go expensive. So I've got tweezers made by Lindstrom or Ideal Tech. They're quite expensive. But if you go on Farnell or RS's websites or sort of general sort of Google searches, you can sort of get cheaper tweezers. You don't have to go expensive. The one thing is try and get 2 or 3 different size ends, and it really aids your soldering projects. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to quickly move on to a couple of demos just to show you the worth of yeah, possibly getting sort of 2 or 3 pairs to sort of help with your soldering. So move on to the demos now. Right, so just quickly following on from the quick chat we had about the different size tweezers and why it's vital. I'm going to show you a couple of quick demonstrations what we were talking about. So as you can see, I've got these sort of resistors down the bottom. These are 0603 that are fairly close together. If you get 0402 size, they're even closer. But these fine pitch tweezers will enable you to get into really small gaps to sort of aid with your rework. Whereas if all you have was sort of one large pair, obviously you're not going to get in there, as you can see. But these are the sort of large ones are useful for sort of QFPs, which I'll sort of show you in a minute. So I've got a medium sized pair here that are going to get sort of your SO14s or sort of down here your SO8s. So yeah, quickly, if we just go above them, I've got a QFP, quite a large one, as you can see, right in the middle of your screen. So the last sort of pair we've done the SO14. These aren't quite large enough for that. That's the sort of largest they go. So if you can sort of get, yeah, sort of 3 different pairs is what I sort of tend to use. As you can see, these go across corner to corner really easily. These are an extra large pair. But obviously these are the ones that are no use for the 402s. So yeah, basically get yourself 2 or 3 different pairs and that'll enable you to do all your projects. Now I use sort of tweezers. The fine pitch ones are from a company called Lindstrom. They're great sort of tweezers, a little bit expensive, but they're well worth it. Whereas the larger ones sort of come from sort of RS components, and they were only about £5. So price sort of varies. The finer pitch ones tend to be sort of slightly dearer. But yeah, if you can go to Farnell RS components or sort of Mauser or DigiKey if you're in America, you should find all you need on their sites. So yeah. Show you this set of 6 tweezers from RS. Come in a nice carry pack. Got different combination of ends in there. Got a couple of fine pointed ones. You've got an angled one, a compression type, a paddle type. All these tweezers will be useful at certain stages, certain repairs. So it's quite a decent general set. I think it retails about £38 from RS. And I believe the order code is 6188386. I'll put a photo up later with a code on it. So anyway, let's get these out of the packet and have a closer look. We've got the tweezers out of the pack, and the first 2 are these crossover tweezers. Now, basically squeezing these together, you're going to open the jaws up and you're going to get it really tight. If you want these to remain gripped to a component while you want to drop it out the board or lift the component up, these are going to be your perfect tweezers. They do take quite a lot of pressure to open them. These are quite a long version. This version here is about 110mm. As you can see, basically you're going to get really, it's quite strong to push that down. I'll say if you need to pull something out of the board, remaining sort of tightly gripped to the component, these are perfect for that. So that's the first 2 in the set. Just get these out of the way and then we'll show you 2 more. So then come to this one here, got this paddle ended spoon type tweezer. Again, pretty good for gripping quite large parts. You've got one set of these angled ones, so if you're working under a microscope you need to get over the top of a component to get to something close by without hitting the microscope with your straight tweezers. These are going to be perfect for that. So again, this one's top one's about 110mm long, bottom one's about 125. And then basically you've got these last two that are basically standard pointed tweezers. That's the type that most people would probably have in their set. The points on these aren't really fine, but they do a pretty good job. Nice and easy to work with. Compression on them's not too strong, so yeah, really good to work with them ones. But if, like I say, if you was trying to get between 402s that are really close together, for example, really small components, as you can see, this set at the bottom doesn't belong in this set of 6, but you can see the difference in size of tips. But say them two at the top will do most of your work. So yeah, overall it's a good set of 6, like I say. Right, so moving on from the chat about the tweezers, come to these two great items that you see on your screen now. Now down the front you see these two solder suckers, slightly different sizes, but they do basically the same thing. The green one's sort of primed to go, and yeah, as you can see, the sort of silver one's sort of been sort of used. But yeah, basically all you do, heat your joint up, put your sort of nozzle that you can see on the left hand side over your joint, sort of push the button, and it's going to suck all the solder out of the hole. Great for through hole, clearing the joints, or sort of unblocking holes. I actually prefer solder braid, but I know a lot of people sort of really like these. So yeah, another good item to add to your collection. Over the back you can see this sort of a third hand sort of PCB jig. It's great for sort of holding small boards or wires, as you can see sort of I've got in there at the moment. Really useful when you sort of need a sort of spare hand. Invaluable tool. I've used it a lot over the years. Great for sort of when you're putting wires together, etc. So yeah, really sort of worth getting one of these as well. It's adjustable all around. Any angle can be found. And yeah, but all these tools are available from the usual suspects like sort of Farnell, RS, etc. The small silver sort of solder sucker at the front, that's available from a company called Ripley Tools. So yeah, basically add these to the collection, and I'm sure you've got plenty of use out of them in the future. So move on now to basically a hot air workstation. Now this is one I personally use. It's a quick 861DA. As you can see, it's got 3 sort of nozzles down the bottom. It's actually one fitted to the sort of tool itself. The other 2 are sort of standing there. Basically this comes with 3 straight nozzles. There's actually an 861DW version as well that comes with 3 angled nozzles, same sort of size. It's got 3 channels you can sort of program in to sort of get 3 different temperatures that suit what you're doing. It's got an up and down air sort of flow button that's got quite a high range, so this also can be adjusted to sort of suit the job in hand. It's a great tool for basically doing sort of surface mount rework or sort of shrink sleeving, sort of doing any sort of taking BJs off large parts on surface mount boards. So it's really invaluable tool. It's about £300, it's quite expensive, and yeah, it's available from places like Somerset Solders or all the usual sort of suspects that I keep mentioning. It's quite an expensive one, like I say, but yeah, in the future, yeah, maybe you can upgrade. If you've got a cheaper hot air gun, you want to upgrade your model, this is a great one to go for. Personally recommend this model. So yeah, basically what I'd do, I'd move on to a couple of demos now, sort of show you sort of how this can be used. And yeah, hopefully in the future you can maybe upgrade, like I say, your sort of cheaper hot air gun to one of these, and you'll get so much use out of it, it definitely won't let you down. So we'll sort of move on to the demos now, and yeah, hopefully it'll prove its worth and maybe sort of convince you in the future to sort of purchase one. I'll show you a couple of quick demos just to show you what the sort of hot air workstation's sort of good for. This will basically take any components off your boards right up to large BGAs, etc. For this one I'm just going to show you this sort of simple SO8 down here. I'll just take a couple of caps off next to it, but yeah, really easy. All you do, set the temperature to about 370 on this one. But yeah, the rework station's a great item to add to your tool collection. It just makes work so simple when you're doing especially surface mount. All you do, gently circle the area. Like I say, if you've got a cheaper hot gun, not a problem. So try and add one of these in the future if possible, and you certainly won't regret it. That's all it is. It's that easy. You basically just take a couple of caps off next to it, just get them off. Just circle them again. Same again. So it just makes rework so easy, as you can see. Come off really easy, and that's the good thing about the station. Just makes your soldering life really easy. So yeah, try and add one of these to tool collection in the future. You certainly won't regret it. So if you've got a sort of cheaper hot gun to start with, not a problem, but maybe in the future upgrade to one of these, and it'll do you a really good sort of job. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'll quickly sort of show you one more item with this station, and then we'll move on to the last set of tools, and yeah, show you them, and then we'll sort of put a few pictures and places you can get your tools from up after that. Right, just quickly show you 1 second sort of demo where the sort of hot air gun can be pretty useful. Just to basically do shrink sleeving now. Basically with one of the preset channels on the quick station I've got, I've just set it to about sort of 180 degrees. And yeah, basically this is another sort of good example of what it can do. Basically you can do a whole range of stuff right across every sort of surface mount component. Right, like I say, right from 402s right up to large BJs. It can also do simple stuff like just shrink sleeving. Basically, yeah, to put it over your joint. So preset one of the channels, sort of a lower temperature, and yeah, shrink away. And that's why it's sort of a useful tool. It's got a multi range of uses. That's basically it. Sort of shrunk the sleeving, and yeah, so basically that's why if you can get one in the future, your tool collection will be enhanced immensely with one of these in it. So yeah, like I said, what I'll do, I'll move on to a few more tools, then after that put a few photos up of where you can get some of this stuff and some codes, and yeah, hopefully you sort of enjoyed it so far, and yeah, hopefully stick to the end and find out a few places where you can get your stuff. So yeah, move on to them ones now. Right, so move on to the final part of the video. This one's just showing you a few more common tools that sort of be good to add to your collection if you haven't sort of got any of them already. So basically, yeah, it's just a few different pairs of pliers down here, different ends on them. There's a couple of different pairs of strippers, sort of large blue pairs for sort of common wires. The light sort of smaller red and white pair are sort of for Kynar wires to do your PCB mod work. There's so many different types of strippers on the market. Basically, just choose the one sort of that suits your needs. Yeah, it's good to sort of put a meter in your collection. This one's sort of an RS Pro one, IDM 71. It's got a mid-range meter, sort of does all the basics, resistors, capacitor measurements, sort of continuity, voltages, etc. It's quite a decent meter. Yeah, it's good to get a couple of scalpels in your collection, sort of for maybe cutting tracks or sort of the like, you know. This, yeah, so I've got one sort of surgeon's knife for doing sort of track cuts, and a larger sort of a scalpel for doing general work. Also got a couple of cleaning brushes down there. Now, talking about the cleaning, basically I'm going to do another video in the near future showing sort of all the consumables I use, like cleaning fluids, solders, sort of solder braids, fluxes, etc. So yeah, we'll save all that stuff for another video, and I'll sort of do that in the near future. But yeah, hopefully you sort of found some of the sort of tools useful in this guide, and yeah, maybe sort of you can sort of add them to your collection. And yeah, so hopefully you found some good information. I'll put a few more pictures up after this with some codes and places to get the stuff. So anyway, thanks for tuning into this latest video, and like I say, in the near future I'll put the consumables video up. But until then, take care, and yeah, I sort of hope you get on well with all your projects, and I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.